Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the floor you walk on every single day? Some houses don't just creak, they remember, and sometimes those memories don't stay silent. They whisper, they burn, and sometimes they rise back to life. They say walls remember, wood remembers, and sometimes even the floor holds secrets that refuse to stay buried. Tonight, I'll tell you the story of a house and the ashes beneath its floor. Emily and Daniel were newlyweds, searching for peace away from the noise of the city. They found it or thought they did in an old countryside house. The house stood at the edge of a fading village. Tall windows stretched toward the gray skies. The wooden floors groaned with every step, and the scent of damp earth clung to the air. It looked old, yes, but charming. The kind of house that held history, character, maybe even stories. But the villagers, they warned Emily and Daniel not to buy it. Whispering, shaking their heads, they called it a cursed place. They said the house carried memories that should not be remembered. Daniel laughed it off. Emily smiled politely, though something in her heart felt uneasy. The first night, as the couple lay in bed, the silence was broken. Emily froze, a faint crackling, beneath the bedroom floorboards. Like firewood snapping in a fire that wasn't there, she whispered to Daniel, "Do you hear that?" But Daniel only mumbled sleepily, "It's nothing, Emily. Probably just the house settling." But Emily knew, it wasn't the house. The next night, it came again. The same sound, the same faint crackling. Only this time, Emily smelled smoke. It drifted up faintly from beneath the floor, tickling her nose, stinging her eyes. "Daniel, wake up," she whispered. But he only waved her off. "It's rats," he said. "Old houses have them. Don't worry." But Emily couldn't sleep. She pressed her ear against the wooden floor, and in the stillness of the night, she heard something else, not crackling, not scratching, but whispers. Tiny, broken voices, repeating a single word. Why? Her heart thudded violently. She pulled back, gasping for air, tears brimming her eyes, and when she looked up, she swore she saw smoke curling out between the cracks of the floorboards. The next day, Daniel tried to calm her, but Emily insisted they needed answers. So, they called Mr. Collins, the caretaker who had once looked after the house. When he arrived, his face drained of color the moment he stepped through the door. He stood in the bedroom, his wrinkled hands trembling, his lips moved silently in prayer. Emily asked, "Do you hear it? Do you smell it?" But Mr. Collins only shook his head, refusing to step any closer. Finally, he whispered, his voice trembling, "Don't dig the floor. Some things are better left buried." Daniel frowned, irritated. "What are you talking about?" But the caretaker refused to explain. He simply left, muttering, his eyes darting nervously back at the house. That night, Emily pleaded with Daniel not to go near the floor, but curiosity is dangerous. When Emily finally drifted into an easy sleep, Daniel quietly fetched his tools. He knelt down, pressing the crowbar into the old wooden planks, and began to pry them open. At first, Daniel thought it was just dirt. But as more boards came up, he froze. Beneath the floor was ash, thick, gray, choking ash, the kind that lingers after a great fire. His hands trembled as he pushed it aside, and then he saw them. Bones, tiny bones, not animal, human. Daniel dropped the plank, stumbling back in horror. But before he could move further, a cold wind blew through the room, though every window was shut. The ash stirred violently. It rose into the air, spinning, forming shapes. Faces, dozens of faces, children's faces. Their mouths opened in silent screams, their hollow eyes locked on Daniel. And the whispers grew louder. "Why did you burn us?" Emily woke with a start. A scream cut through the night. She ran into the bedroom, her heart racing. The floor was torn open. Ash swirled in the air like smoke. Daniel stood in the middle of it, his eyes wide, his mouth stretched and naturally open, but the sound that poured out of him wasn't his own voice, it was a chorus. Dozens of voices overlapping, broken, crying, accusing. "We were children. They locked the doors. They burned us alive. We are still here." Emily collapsed to her knees, covering her ears, tears streaming down her face. "Daniel, stop," she screamed. But Daniel's body jerked unnaturally, his head twisting, his voice echoing with theirs. The ash rose higher, circling them like a storm. And then, silence. The next morning, neighbors came to check on them. The door was unlocked, the house was quiet. But Emily and Daniel were gone. Only gray ash covered the floorboards, ash that trailed across the wooden floor, like footsteps leading down into the earth itself. They say the house still stands. Even today, abandoned, silent, waiting. And if you dare to step inside at night, you'll hear it, the faint crackling of fire under your feet. Don't look for the source. Don't press your ear to the floor, don't try to open it. Because the ashes beneath are still waiting.